Here we are at Fabspeed Motorsport, and we're going to have a video explanation of what a long neck high performance intercooler is for Porsche turbos or 911 turbos between 1976 and 1989. Anyway, here's a Porsche 930 engine. This is the factory intercooler setup, and when they designed this in the late 60s, early 70s, this was what Porsche did. And this is the factory intercooler, and this is the recirculating valve right here. And this takes the air and it brings it over here to this other piece over here, and this is the setup. Now, a long neck intercooler is an intercooler, and if you come back over here, that eliminates this recirculating valve. So this neck comes all the way down to this throttle body and eliminates all this garbage. Somebody said, well, Porsche did it. Why is it garbage? Well, for the 1991, 92, and 94 C2 turbos, 965s, Porsche eliminates this thing, and the intercooler neck from the factory came all the way down to here and eliminated all this jazz, and it adds for better performance and more cooling capacity. So when I lift this off, all this jazz is getting eliminated, and this intercooler should come all the way to here and go over these hose clamps here and bolt right on there. On the C2 turbos, all this stuff was eliminated and one intercooler came on there. So a long neck intercooler is an intercooler of which this neck would come all the way down here and go all the way and eliminate all this garbage under there. Okay? And you can now see a long neck intercooler. Copeland used to make them until they went out of business. And then here's a long neck intercooler on a 930 that eliminates all the jazz, just like Porsche did on the C2 turbos. This is the big advantage. You don't need that recirculating valve and anything else. On our next video, I'm going to show you why Fabspeed intercoolers are now the best in the world and made in USA for all your Porsche 930s. Okay, now here we are on the second video of why Fabspeed makes great intercoolers, superior intercoolers for Porsche 930 cars, 911 turbos from approximately 1976 to 89. Anyway, this is the year is 2010, and Fabspeed just designed and built USA intercoolers in long neck condition for Porsche 930 cars. And I want to show you the final benefits of it. Anyway, here's the factory intercooler that comes on here, and with the recirculating valve here. And what we're doing is we're making a long neck intercooler, as I mentioned on the front of the first part of this video. But back in the 60s and 70s, when Porsche was designing the 74 turbo, the technology then, they used lots of O-rings and all. This is a K27 turbo, or even an LDZ. They use O-rings. There's an O-ring here, rubber O-ring. There's another O-ring, and this is the boost tube to go up there. There's O-rings here. And then if you're using a K27, you even have an O-ring for here. O-rings are very old school from the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and they're prone to leak. Often you'll see oil, grease, and seepage. That means you're losing boost and you're losing air pressure. Also, when you lift off this intercooler, Porsche also used O-rings here, and then they use more O-rings down here. That's old school, doesn't work good. Now, somebody will say, well, Porsche did that. Well, they're using 40s, 50s, and 60s technology with O-rings. When Porsche in 1991, 92, and 94 for the C2 turbos, 965s, they eliminated the O-rings here, and they used a solid piece of silicone rubber, like a 4 or 5 ply, but they still used these silly O-rings and some hold downs. Okay, this is 2010. What Fabspeed's done is we made a long neck intercooler, and we eliminated all the potential points to leak. These are USA made intercoolers, an improvement over the well-known Copeland. This thing fits, it works, it has all the bosses welded, TIG welded in place. Under the intercooler, a beefy stainless steel bracket, and we also even added a water methanol injection port, which we will send plugged. But if you ever want to buy a boost cooler from either Snow Performance, AEM, or anybody else, they really work well. This is 2010 now. And there's the intercooler, top side, underside. We'll even have silicone for the K27 or the LDZ. Now, panning over onto this factory slant nose, you can see our intercooler installed on the car. The beefy bracket, we've ran this thing with plenty of boost, stable and secure, solid hose, just like Porsche did on the C2 Turbos 965s. The outlet, and there's the other piece of silicone that comes with it, eliminating any chances for leaks, no O-rings. And on the back side over here, obviously all the things are hooked up underneath, but there's the outlet and then the adapter. And we're going to be making this thing in one solid piece of silicone to eliminate all this jazz, but this is what people were doing in the 70s and 80s, is making adapters. Anyway, this is the state-of-the-art 2010 Long-Neck Intercooler from Fabspeed Motorsports for Porsche 930s worldwide. Highest capacity, best fit. This will also fit with the factory steel air box, or this is the Fabspeed Cup air box on here that adds about 15 horsepower, fits right. So you can use your factory steel air box or aftermarket air box or this with this intercooler. We've designed it to fit both.